Good afternoon, colleagues. We're going to begin business today, as we do on a Tuesday, with Time for Reflection. And our Time for Reflection leader today is the Reverend David T. Young, who is the Parish Minister and the team leader at Helensburgh Parish Church. Reverend Young.
Presiding Officer, members of the Scottish Parliament, good afternoon and thank you for this opportunity to address you. In 2017, I had the privilege of participating in a pulpit exchange with a senior pastor in the Presbyterian Church USA. For 6 weeks, I worked with Hickory First Presbyterian Church in North Carolina. I lived in my counterpart's home, drove his car, worked from his office, and preached from his pulpit. It was a daunting experience, travelling across the Atlantic to live and work amongst people I had never met in a place I had never visited. Then again, life begins at the end of our comfort zone. Being from Ardrossan, I was naturally quite concerned that my accent would bamboozle them. In fact, a member of the committee responsible for all staffing within the large church complex prayed ahead of my first sermon that the congregation would understand me. Of course, I had to share that with the congregation. They laughed, so the prayer must have worked. What struck me most during this cultural and professional exchange was the warmth of welcome. Connections with people were made so easily. The hospitality was fantastic, and the affirmation received from everyone with whom I was fortunate to come into contact, a complete blessing. Before returning to Scotland, I was interviewed by the local newspaper. The headline for the article stated simply, "They are like family," because I spoke of the warmth with which I was welcomed and the way in which they took me under their wing. I didn't have to cook a meal during the entire 6 weeks. We've all thought a lot about family and connections this past year. We've had to sacrifice birthdays and anniversaries and all the things we perhaps took for granted before COVID took over our lives. Our connections have largely been contained to our Wi-Fi networks, as my remote presence here demonstrates. At the same time, we've made new connections with neighbours and folks in our communities we'd otherwise simply wave at as we jump into our cars and head to work. As we cautiously look to brighter days when we can again be with all our loved ones, my hope and my prayer is that Parliament remembers the lessons this period has taught or reminded us, that above all else, relationship matters, affirmation matters, connections matter. Every blessing to you all, and thanks again.
Thank you very much, Reverend Young.